Welcome back to another episode of Adventures in Business. This is your host, Amy Zander, with my co-host, Lisa. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Amy. How are you doing? What's going on?
I am excellent. I'm super excited about, we have about 2 months coming up on for my summit. So, getting things in order, getting some sponsors. I'm really excited. I just got a sponsor for the breakfast that we're having. So that's good. We're going to have lots of good treats and some really amazing prizes again this year. So I'm really excited. So for our listeners, if you hadn't heard about it before, just go to zediamedia.com and you can get tickets to the marketing summit that's going to be on May 11th. So I'm excited about that.
Well,
Yeah.
and what's really cool is the event venue. We had Phoebe on our show. And
Yeah.
so I didn't know about her venue until she was actually a guest on Adventures in Business. And now here you get to do business with her. And I think that's exciting.
It is. After we had her on there, I went and looked at it and kept her in mind for another location. And it's the 1111 Event Center that's in the Lansing Mall on the end where Tequila Cowboy used to be. And she has transformed that space. It is gorgeous. So I'm excited.
Well, and I'm hoping because we have an amazing guest today, and that is our desire. We do this 517 Adventures in Business podcast to get people's names out there and exchanging business and being able to check out others and do business with people. And so I'm super excited about our guest today.
I am too. But before we dive into that, I just want to say too, we've had some a few wins that we've heard about from guests and listeners where they've connected with each other after hearing an episode of the podcast, and there's been business done and friendships made and connections made, and we absolutely love to hear that. That's why we do this. So if you have had that experience either as a listener on our show or a guest and you've connected with somebody else through our show, like let us know because we'd like to highlight that on our show. And it also just makes us feel good. So let us know. Yeah. So Lisa, do you have any events coming up that you want to talk about?
I actually have imposter syndrome too that's coming. I'm bringing in a speaker that's going to be on April 28th
Yeah,
at
Deb
8:30 in the
Timmerman.
morning. Yes,
Yeah, she
who
was
was
on our
again.
show. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off while you were telling the date. Say that again.
Nope, it's April 28th at the Chamber of Commerce at 8:30 in the morning till 10, and it's getting your brain to tell you you're enough, right? We know
Yep.
we're enough. Sometimes we just need to remind ourselves we
Yep.
are enough. So, yeah,
Yep.
thanks for asking. But today we are going to speak with Adam, who's been listening intently to us. So, Adam Suter, welcome, Mr. Co-owner of 360 Photo and Design. How are you today?
Doing just fine. Thank you for having me up.
Outstanding. We're
Yeah.
glad to have you here. So, why don't you tell our listeners who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so my wife and I started 360 Photo and Design about 10 years ago. She started the company, so it is mostly hers. But she doesn't like doing sales anymore. She started out doing all the sales for us, and then at a certain point, I quit my day job, and we've been full time now for quite some years now. But yeah, 360 Photo and Design I like to say it's a marketing asset creation company
Excellent.
because we've done a lot of different things. My background, I went to school for graphic design, advertising design, that sort of thing, and did that for 10 years or so in various agencies and in-house marketing departments. And then we started photographing businesses on Google. Like Google started in 2012 making their Street View service available for businesses inside, and they put an ad out on Craigslist for photographers to try to teach them how to take these 360 photos and walk inside a business. So that was called Business View, and we were one of the very first people in the world to be certified to do that.
Wow.
Lansing, and they were going to London, they were going to Detroit, they were going to Chicago, and like we just happened to add Lansing to that list. So that was August of 2012.
See, another amazing thing that puts Lansing on the map.
Yeah. Yep. So we really
Nice.
did, and that was actually the slogan: "Put your business on the map."
Nice. Okay, cool.
Love it,
Perfect.
love it.
Yeah, for a long time. And so that's how we got started. I was working as a creative director in a tech company down in Holt at the time, but Amber, she was working door to door, like cold call after cold call for until we got it busy enough where I could quit my day job. And so
Nice.
that's kind of
Shout
how
out
we
to
got
Amber.
started.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shout out to Amber that's not with us today, but hopefully we get to see you on the next episode when you guys catch us up on how things are going. But thanks for putting Lansing, Michigan on the map worldwide with this. Amazing, amazing. So tell us a little bit about the benefits, the market, you call it marketing asset, right? So for those business owners that might not quite have the picture of what that is, how can being a marketing asset attribute to them?
Yeah, I mean, we want to help businesses look legit. I mean, that really is what
Okay.
it comes down to. That's the simplest way to describe. I mean, you look at a logo, like, is that a legitimate business? You know, you look at a professional photo. Oh no, wait, that's a stock photo. That doesn't look as legit. So the things we do, the things we create, is all about helping a business to look like they're a real business, and that can be tricky nowadays. You know, because it's costly to start a business. And people may not think that they need to spend money to make themselves look like they're a real business. So that's really what it is. We've done headshots, we've done product photography. The virtual tours is what started it out, but now it's, you know, any kind of photography asset that really helps a business sell itself for its brochures and for its website, its social media, you know, all those kinds of things. That's why we say it's a marketing asset. It's not just, hey,
Mhm.
here's a pretty photo. It's a
Yeah.
tool. You know, this is to make me look like a real business.
Very good. Very good. And it's so that's hearing what your multiple services that
Yeah.
you offer as part of this package. That's good to know.
Yeah.
What has been your favorite business that you operated with?
So we've had good partnerships, and I think that's been the cool thing, is learning things. Back about 5 years ago, we met with Megan Winters. I don't know if you know
Yeah.
Megan and Evan. So she had this idea of taking virtual tours and really pushing the accessibility functionality of it, and we were really on board. So I'd say that they're one of our favorite ones that we've worked with over the years. So we gave them 150 virtual tour. It was just an idea, but they needed content to like sell it as a
Mhm.
thing. And so we had been at it for about 5 years, really pushing virtual tours as a marketing tool. And, you know, also a sort of benefit was accessibility, but now they are all in about accessibility. And I'd say virtual tours are probably better known now as an accessibility tour in Lansing because of the work that they've done. So
Yes.
um, in that regard, we just last year did one for Spartan Stadium. So it was our biggest virtual tour. Ableize brought us in as the photography vendor. They do their own photography sometimes too, which is fine. They don't have to use us every time, but they did bring us on that one, and it was phenomenal. We went on a game day, and there were vendors everywhere. We've got on the field. So if you Google the Spartan Stadium, you can walk around inside it. It says Ableize on the credit for it, but that was a joint venture for us. So that was the best day we've had recently.
Yeah. Yeah. So are these tours photographs or video or a combination?
I can see where that's a good question, because we get that a lot. They are photographs that are manipulated in software to be interactive. So you've
Right.
got these photospheres that are all connected. They call it in a constellation to each other. So like you're in a room and you want to go from here to there. You click from this 360 to that 360. We call it like a choose your own adventure video.
Right. Okay,
You know, so
perfect.
it is.
Yeah.
But because it's still photos, your quality is better. You got like video, you see like 4K video. That's usually what people are used to watching now with good quality stuff. These photospheres are more like 50K.
Okay.
They're just huge files that let you zoom in and out. And so it's like manipulating those photos in a
Right.
walking tour.
Right. Okay. Yeah, and I think to somebody who is just an average person, it feels like you're immersed in that kind of thing. I've seen these videos. I'm gonna go check out the stadium one. I haven't seen that one yet.
It's very
But
cool.
yes, I imagine, and they're like international now. But
Mhm.
this show isn't about Able Eyes. We've had
Yeah.
them on here before. This is
Right.
about you. So, so besides the virtual tours, what else do you guys do? You do the headshots,
Mhm.
and
Yep.
I saw on your website you do something like architectural stuff.
Yeah, so that was kind of a new niche that we got into over the pandemic. Virtual tours were popular during the pandemic, but
Hmm.
I got a drone and was very
Nice.
excited about playing with this new toy. And so it kind of opened up some more artsy type stuff
Okay.
for us. So as I got better at creating, I guess, better quality imagery, we got into architectural photography and even separated our brand because we've had it's confusing for people who really want artsy photos to see headshots and virtual tours and some design work and all this other stuff. So we had a consultant recommend niching that aspect of our business off. And so we started a brand last year around January called 517 Visuals, really just for that. So it was a whole nother website, a whole nother branding package, and that kind of thing. So that's been fun. We still show some of that with 360 because it's like the broad marketing asset thing, as opposed to, hey, we work for architects, designers, and engineers who want art from their final building project. So, yeah, that's fun. That stuff is really any kind you can make some art from your photography. It was like a hobby that turned into real work.
Right. And it seems like you've got some really big clients in the area, like MSU and some big real estate people, and some. Let's see, we got medical healthcare stuff I see there. So
Yep.
you've got some pretty big Lansing area clients.
Yeah, MSU is a funny one because they are so siloed in their departments. Like if you
Hmm.
worked with the student housing a lot doing virtual tours inside dorm rooms, they wanted for that. But that doesn't mean you're going to work for the health department
Right.
or you're going to work with, the food service. Like you have to really pitch it like they're all individual clients. And
Right.
so we've kind of spread as they talk amongst themselves, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a good. We've had some really good success with, especially some of these big developers here in town too, that have kind of opened those doors.
Well, yeah, and as long as they keep developing, you've just keep going to probably keep working with them. So it's kind of like long-term clients, which is nice.
Yeah, like the iDevelopment company, we've worked for them for 6-7 years now. We just
Hmm.
did we always did like building photos for them, but we just did a big headshot session over 4 days, and like their about us page might as well be a portfolio page for us now, which
Right, there you go.
we share that out and we're like, hey, look at this.
Yeah,
We want to
right.
do that for you.
Yeah. Now that you've piqued our listeners' interest, why don't you let them know how they can get a hold of you if they're interested in your services?
Yeah, so 360photoanddesign.com is our website. It's got a great I put a ton of work over this winter. Our work tends to be seasonal, so I neglect my website through the summer, and then over the winter, it's up to date. So it's
Sure.
up to date. I'm doing some frequently asked questions. I'm not calling it a blog, but it's like just because I
Right.
don't want to hold myself to that.
Yeah,
But
that's too much commitment.
it is, yeah. So
I
like
get it.
I do like 5-6 posts a year
Yeah. Yep.
on it, but there's some new ones on there about how you can prepare your business for a photo shoot. That was like the latest one that we just did. Why you should get a headshot, and do it regularly is another one on there. So stuff like that. So yeah, 360photoanddesign.com. 360 Photo Design is our handle, and we've done that across all. I finally got, Twitter and Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, and everybody's got the same URL, those shortened ones. So
Isn't that nice? Yeah, the same handle. Yeah.
it's like you actually have to start, I think, with that.
Yep.
And then work backwards on the name of your business. So can you have
Yep.
all of them?
Yep. I do that with startups that we work with too to make sure they're all available for sure.
Good.
Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
So, Adam, what are you most excited about in the coming year? What do you want? What are you looking forward to in 2023?
This year, we've started to kind of do a little bit more video. Like everybody's always asked, and they think because, like you said, Amy, that is this video?
Right.
Well, I'm always kind of like looking for video partners to kind of take on big projects, and we still do, but I'm trying to do some of the little ones. Um, I've really enjoyed making like social media style videos for our clients, and we've done a
Yeah.
couple of them over the last year. So I'm really excited about that. My drone was kind of like a gateway uh, tool in order to get it into video, but video is very scary for me because I'm just I'm a photographer. So we're trying to get a little bit more into some video work this year. Uh, the I don't know if you've ever heard of a time lapse or a hyperlapse. These are like time compression videos where something changes over. So I did a lot of those over the last year or two, and now we're starting to kind of sell them. So like the Gillespie Group hired us last year for one of those. We did it on the 4th of July. We're up on one of their buildings, and we did the whole fireworks that were at
Oh,
like
that's
the whole
cool.
night. We did a loop around, and anyway,
Hmm.
that kind of stuff is really fun. And so video is kind of an area we're kind of niching or kind of pushing into a little bit, but
Well, and those time lapse videos like that are addictive, like especially if you put them on social media and stuff. I mean, you'll stop your scroll and watch something like that. Like I like the ones where people are cooking something or making something or like flowers blooming. So that's you're very on trend there. And also YouTube shorts. That's the other video thing that's, catching fire right now that people are doing.
yeah, I just started my YouTube channel. I don't have anything on it, but I got the handle. Like
Yeah.
YouTube lets you have the handle now. It's like, okay, am I ready for YouTube yet?
I
I
know.
think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. We started this year with season 2. We started our YouTube channel for Adventures in Business, and we put our videos like we're recording right now. And we edit them less than we edit the audio versions. So if people want to watch them, I listen to all my podcasts. I don't usually watch them any of them that I listen to, but some people like to watch the videos. So yeah. Yeah, well, that's amazing. And it just like anything with any sort of marketing part of a business, it's always changing. You've got to stay up on the latest stuff and give the people what they want, sort of thing. But really good professional photography will always be needed. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's a
So,
useful tool. I mean,
yeah.
people don't realize just how much they will use. They'll spend, tons of money everywhere else on their business, but then they don't think, what about the brochures that I need? What about my website?
Yeah.
What about those, and so that's kind of like,
I
hey,
know. I
that's
know.
definitely needs to be part of the formula.
Yeah, as a website designer, we do that as part of our business. I am always pushing for, all headshots that look the same with the same backdrop. Like I really don't like it when companies will just cobble together people's pictures from Instagram or whatever, and they all look different and they're different, lighting and all this stuff. Like I'm like, we can notch this up a little bit, get it professional. I mean, if you're just starting out and you don't have a budget, that's better than nothing. But the goal on your website would be to have a professional person like Adam's company come in and do these headshots and things for you, for sure.
Yeah. We're definitely you're definitely speaking my language. We had a nice one with the Greater Lansing Convention and Visitors Bureau. They had us. So we part of it is kind of like suggesting where to do it too, because you can always do a blank background too. But right. I always like to give a little tip for people when they're thinking of their headshot. Put some environmental thing in it that relates to your business too. So if you're a real estate agent, be in front of a house. If you're,
right.
Just the 1990s back wall look.
Glamour shots.
Not ideal. It's
right.
You can do better. You can do better.
Right. It gives you personality, and it can also add to your brand too. Like you were saying, give a little hint about what you do, or also just enhance your brand, whatever that might be.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So you and your wife are now full-time in this business, right? It's been that way for a few years.
A decade now.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Excellent. So how far out from Lansing do you go to work?
We've basically the Midwest. We've photographed maybe 500, 600, 700 hotels over the last year. So we've gone from like Houghton Hancock at the top of the UP down into Indiana, over to Pennsylvania. We prefer to stay in Michigan.
Sure.
But we have traveled on occasion for that sort of thing. virtual tours for hotels was like a real big part of our business for the hospitality sector. So
Mhm.
that's the thing that's made us travel the most. And we'll like stay overnight somewhere and do a whole thing for them.
Right.
But typically we're sticking with Michigan in general.
Yeah. So just out of curiosity, when you go to these hotels, do they put you up for the night or for a couple days? It's always, but you
Yeah,
stayed in some nice
they
hotels,
call it a
huh?
comp room.
Okay.
So it's not the Ritz, it's not the deluxe
Right.
accommodations. We
Right.
did the Shoreline Inn in Muskegon, and I think they didn't even list this on their website. I think it was the smallest room that they had. I'm not blowing them up or anything.
No. Right.
It's a very nice hotel. So
Yeah.
even their smallest room is very nice.
Yeah.
But
And they're on the lake,
yeah,
assuming by the name.
it's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's on a marina. Like
Okay.
yachts are parked at the Shoreline Inn.
Nice.
It's like a hotel for a yacht club.
Okay. Do you do a lot of work with restaurants?
Not as much. When we first started out, we did a lot of them. Budgets tend to be a little bit more compressed with restaurants. And I will say, though, that they are ones that benefit the most from a virtual tour if you can convince the owners to do it. But a restaurant usually has about 5 or 6 gatekeepers before you get to a restaurant owner. So we've done things like Beggar's Banquet and the Riv and the English Inn, stuff like that, where, I will say that the virtual tour thing, it gets people in the front door, which is kind of the hardest thing for a business, to get them from driving by to actually walking in. And if they can do that on their phone, that's one less barrier for them to feel comfortable going somewhere new. So
right.
Yeah. You named some amazing places. What is somebody that you haven't secured as a partner yet that you want to get in and do their video and do their shoot?
Lugnut Stadium.
There you go, Lugnut
We'll put it out
Stadium.
there. Yep.
If you're listening.
Okay.
Yeah, that's been my white whale. It's because we love them, we use them. It's our backyard. We have done so much footage around them for the Stadium District and the Lansing Conventioners Visitors Bureau and them. We did the Lansing Center. So we've done all around them, but that's the one that's been like elusive.
Yeah. I hope maybe with the MSU Stadium being done, you can show them your work there and convince them that way. Yes.
That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. For our listeners, if anybody has a connection with somebody at the Lugnut Stadium and you can whisper in their ear, give them Adam's name. This is what the show is all about. So let's see if we can make that connection. That would be great.
Well, they say a picture says 1,000 words, right? You've got that amazing profile and portfolio from IDES out on your site.
Right. Yeah.
Check them out. Check them out.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Very good. If you had one piece of advice, and I'm kind of going back to the business hat that you're wearing. I think you can teach a class on how do I quit my day job and make my hobby a career.
You have a wife that's willing to knock on doors. That's one part, right?
Yeah. But if you were to give a piece of advice for other entrepreneurs and business people that are listening to the podcast on a tip, a best practice to have a successful business, what would that be?
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes is, half of being smart's knowing what you're dumb at. And know what you're good at and what you're not good at. So one of the worst pieces of advice I ever had was do your own taxes. And so
that's terrible advice.
It was terrible. So we incorporated, I got all these scary forms from the IRS, and having an accountant, like, I know I'm dumb with accounting. I have zero interest in dealing with the IRS.
Right.
So we hired that. I have no interest in writing contracts and things like that. So you have a lawyer, know what you're dumb at. And so if you have good partners that can support you and give you good advice, look for those first. Those are the ones that I think that was the best piece of advice that I've ever been given.
Yeah, that's great.
That is an awesome tip. And yeah, don't do your own taxes unless you are an accountant.
Yep.
Oh, so good. So good. Is there anything that we've not asked you about that you want to share with our listeners?
One thing that is real strong for Amber and I is we try to volunteer. We didn't get started in any of this to be photographers, to be marketing people. We wanted to volunteer. And so we did janitorial work. We've done, I feel like I'm a serial entrepreneur, but it's all been about supporting volunteer work. So we don't talk about that at all on our social media. But I would say, be a volunteer as much as you can be. It's something that giving back to your community, to us, is very important. And to find the cause that, can really benefit people. So that's really why we do what we do. And we talk about it a little bit on our, about us pages, but whoever reads really through all that any stuff. So I guess that'd be the answer to your question.
I really value that and appreciate that, because sometimes when I'm working with people on business plans, I really feel you don't have a complete business plan if you don't have that philanthropic effort in there.
Love that.
And yet,
Yep.
Volunteering because you want to is different than volunteering because I have to.
Or you feel like you
And
should, or
going,
it looks good, or
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So going back to, in your business, know what you're good at, but volunteer at places that you're passionate about, that you want to make a difference, not because, well, Lisa said I need philanthropic piece in my business plan.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's also important to note too, and Adam, you touched on this, is that you're not splashing it all over your social media and stuff, like all the stuff that you do, but you're quietly supporting these organizations and things, and doing the work and putting it in, and you're not doing it for for like newsjacking or like some social media, props or likes or whatever. And so, I mean, and some people do, and that's okay, because it is a way to promote the organizations that you're volunteering for, that you feel passionate about, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's also a much quieter way to do that too, and still, promote the businesses. So I think if you are volunteering or supporting something like that, you can put it in your marketing in a way that promotes that organization and not yourself.
Yeah, there's definitely the right way and the wrong way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's great. This has been great. I am so excited to hear about you. It's always nice to meet another person in the marketing realm and in Lansing that's passionate about Lansing like we are. So I'm just very happy that you jumped on. You were a last minute fill-in. We had a cancellation in our hole in our calendar, and you jumped on. So this has been great.
Yeah, I was scrolling on on LinkedIn on Monday, just reaching out to a few people, and I was like, oh, we need somebody. All right. Well,
yeah.
All right. I could do that.
Yeah. Well, we were glad that you did. And again, I just want to say again, if anyone's got a connection at the Lugnut Stadium, let's get you connected with Adam Suter. You can go to their website. You can check out the show notes for this episode to find the links, or go directly to their website and connect with Adam. Or if your company needs headshots or better pictures or anything, you need to step up your marketing. They are willing to help. 360 photo and design.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here today. And, we've run into each other at networking events, or run across each other at different events, but it was really nice to be able to hear your story. And that's what we want. We want to hear what people's stories are, what makes them tick. And it was a pleasure learning yours. And I'm looking forward to finding somebody at the Lugnut Stadium.
Yeah.
I'm on a mission. You've given me a homework assignment, Adam.
There you go. Lisa knows a lot of people, so
that wasn't the goal, but hey, that would be a nice bonus. This was good enough for that. So I appreciate you inviting me on.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much. And thank you to our listeners for joining us again on another adventure. We release episodes every Wednesday. You can find us at zediamedia.com, or at Lisa Fisher's website, or on any of our social medias. And if you'd like to be on our show, you can sign up at zediamedia.com. We hope you have a great day. And as always, go out and make it an adventure.